hopefully Secretary Churchill will be able to join us shortly. I want to thank all of you for joining us via this conference call today as we come together under some very unusual and unprecedented circumstances. We are live streaming the audio of today's meeting on our website, and the link of the audio was distributed alongside the public notice of today's call. After the conclusion of our meeting, a recording of the audio will be immediately published to the IAC website for anyone that was unable to listen to the meeting today. Because of our circumstances, and this is our first teleconference, we are limiting our agenda today to those things that are most timely and mission critical. We hope to have a more robust meeting agendas in the future, as the IAC staff may be reaching out to each of us individually to perform some testing and training on a video platform in case it is needed for future meetings. Each of these technologies is a little bit different, as you know, because it's so critical for us to be available to our constituents. We're going to try to do everything in our power to make sure that these meetings go off well for the public. With that, I'd like to go ahead and get started with the consent agenda. So if you would move to your agendas. And I'm doing that myself. The consent agenda is as listed, and I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion so moved, Denise Rivera. Second, Gloria Lawler.
Hi, Dick Lombardo here.
Thank you for joining us, Dick. We are on a motion now of the consent agenda, and the chair has asked for a yay or nay. And if everyone would unmute your phone to talk and then mute it back after you're done. Thank you.
So call for the vote, please. Bob, could we just have you or Cassandra run down the
Yes.
members and do a roll call and we'll vote that way, please?
Yes, Denise has already voted in the affirmative. Secretary Ellington has not joined us yet. Linda Eberhardt, please.
Yes.
Brian Gibbons.
Yes.
Senator Lala. Senator.
Yes.
Thank you. Secretary McCord.
Yes.
Senator Casemeyer.
Yes.
And Dick.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes, Madam Chair.
And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you. You have
All right,
voted yes.
unanimous then. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to section 2 of the agenda, which is the non-public aging schools program, the fiscal year 2020 project approvals and allocations, and these have been revised. So we're going to have Fred walk us through this. So Fred, if you will begin.
Certainly. Thank you, Dr. Salmon. We did need to make some revisions to the non-public aging schools program due to errors on our part in sorting the applications. So we went through and rechecked everything, made sure that the non-public placement schools were placed in the highest tier in accordance with the statute, checked the additional criteria that all the schools met, and now present a revised motion. You saw some last minute changes this morning, and that also does impact the total, which is now $3,135,029. And I stand for any questions.
Fred,
could you just go through those revisions that we sent out this morning just to make sure? I'm not sure everybody had a chance to see them. Could you walk us through that, please?
Absolutely. So following a final check last evening against the submitted applications and the number of additional criteria each applicant met, we did have some further revisions, and they're highlighted in red in the item. The Baltimore Actors Theater Conservancy had been allocated $6,347, which would correspond to one criteria. They actually meet 3 additional criteria, so their allocation is $25,428. Emmanuel Lutheran actually meets 2 criteria and not 3, so their allocation is $19,071. Institute of Notre Dame meets 3 criteria, and their allocation is $25,428. So those are the 3 changes, and these again do increase the total to $3,135,029.
Okay, thank you, Fred. Are there questions for Fred? And I think Secretary Churchill just joined us. Is that correct?
That is correct, Madam Chair. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Questions for Fred on these changes to the original document, and they are highlighted in red, and it has been corrected since these folks qualified for more than the previous amounts that they were given. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair, do you want Fred to read the motion?
I would like him to do that. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I will read the motion, and I'll read it with the corrected total. To approve FY 2020 Senator James E. Ed DeGrange non-public aging schools program revised project allocations as presented, totaling $3,135,029.
Thank you, Fred. Do we have any other questions before we ask for a motion? I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second, Lawler.
Second, but whatever.
Okay, so can we just have can we have a name for the person that made the motion?
It's Brian Gibbons.
Thank you, Brian. And who made the second?
Gloria Lawler, second.
Thank you, Senator. Can we call the roll, Bob?
Yes, Madam Chair. Denise Vera,
Yes.
Secretary Churchill,
Yes.
Linda Eberhardt, Linda, could you unmute your
Can I
phone?
go out?
Yes.
Brian Gibbons,
Yes.
Senator Lala,
Yes.
Secretary McCord,
Yes.
Senator Casemeyer,
Yes.
and Dick Lombardo.
Yes.
And Madam Chair,
Yes.
thank
So we
you.
have a unanimous vote. Thank you all very much. Let us now move to section 3 of the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jamie?
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. I am before you, quote unquote, to deliver item 3, an action item, the approval of the Baltimore City Public Schools annual report. Before I read the motion, I'll provide some background information, an overview on program progress, and the details of IAC responsibilities in the annual report. First, the economic development article in COMAR requires that on October 1st, 2013, and each January 15th thereafter, the authority, Baltimore City, the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners, the Interagency Commission on School Construction shall jointly report to the governor, the Board of Public Works, and, in accordance with the state government article, the fiscal committees of the General Assembly on the progress of replacements, renovations, and maintenance of Baltimore City public school facilities, including actions taken during the previous fiscal year and planned for the current fiscal year. The memorandum of understanding for the construction and rehabilitation of Baltimore City Public Schools, dated October 16, 2013, assigns the development of the annual report to the Executive Committee The Maryland Stadium Authority has assumed the lead in producing the report. The Stadium Authority, Baltimore City Public Schools, the City of Baltimore, and the IAC will then present this annual program progress report to the Board of Public Works and the Maryland State Legislature on work related to the 21st Century School Buildings Program once approved. You will see the agenda item is on page 47 of the meeting agenda. I'll start with some overall program progress, and I would note that in a regular meeting, PowerPoint would ensue with pictures and a bit more detail, but we will move fairly quickly so we can get on to other important business. Some overall program progress. Just looking back on 2019, the program has opened 5 renovated or replacement schools. Those are Arlington Elementary School, the Fairmont Hartford Building, which is home of the Reach Academy, Fabric Elementary Middle, Calvin Rodwell Elementary Middle, and John Grura Elementary Middle. At the moment, there are 3 projects under construction, 2 projects in procurement, 6 projects in design, 2 projects in final planning stages. And looking ahead, the program is on track to deliver 28 renovated or replacement school projects. Substantial completion for the program is anticipated in 2021. However, final completion for a few projects is anticipated to slip into 2023 due to swing space conflicts. Now I'll move on to IAC responsibilities for the annual report. The MOU requires the IAC to provide in the annual report its review of, first, the projected district-wide utilization rate, and second, the comprehensive maintenance plan. On the district-wide utilization, the review of the projected district-wide utilization rate can be found on page 74 of the meeting agenda. While you're flipping, I'll just say utilization matters because each student requires a certain amount of space to learn. Too little space makes it harder to educate students, but too much space makes it harder to afford to operate and maintain educational facilities over an expected lifetime of at least 30 years. We use utilization, which is the ratio of enrollment to capacity, to approximate the right size at the school, cluster, and portfolio scale to ensure an educationally sufficient, physically sustainable place for each student in the city and across the state to learn. Per the MOU, the IAC is required to review and comment on the projected district-wide utilization rates on an annual basis and incorporate city schools' attainment of the district-wide utilization rate targets as a factor in the approval of future 10-year plan and capital improvement program projects. The final district-wide utilization rate target was set in 2013 at 86% for school year 2019-20, the original projected completion date of the program. Due to the extension of the program to 2022-2023 and significant changes in projected enrollments, city schools is not currently projected to be on pace to meet the final utilization rate target. However, and if current enrollment projections come to fruition, additional portfolios may need to be actions may need to be considered in order to sustain the final district-wide utilization rate of 86%, which city schools did meet in school year 1920. And as I said, due to changes in enrollment, we are going to have to just work hard to make sure we continue to maintain that rate. I'll pause now for questions on utilization before I move into the comprehensive maintenance plan.
Questions for Jamie?
This is Secretary McCourt. Jamie, the detail of that is somewhat described on page 101 of the agenda as a summary table there for certain buildings that are being worked on. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm going to have to flip there with you right now.
Flip to 102, right?
Excuse me, you caught me with my browser window closed.
That's all right.
All right. And 102.
Page 101. It may say page 102, depending on the browser.
All right, here we go.
Jamie, do you see it? I think he's talking about Exhibit 1 summary table, which is on page 55 of the actual document.
All right, yeah, it was all just really getting around the windows. I'm there now. Okay, go ahead, Secretary.
No, I'm just trying to, my question is making sure I understand this piece right. This piece here in Exhibit 1 is trying to show us the schools that are the Plan Year 1 schools and the Plan Year 2 schools. You have enrollment projections, state rated capacity, square feet. You have the numbers in the bottom right hand of that chart, utilization for first year schools and second year schools with 83% and 82%, and the average is 83% there. That's based on the schools that they're working on at the moment, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, just making sure that I'm understanding that correctly. So that's all. That's simply confirming my understanding of looking through the report and seeing utilization rates reported there. So they're not 86%, but they're not way off the chart there. Okay, appreciate that.
Absolutely not. Sure.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Got it.
Sure.
Other questions for Jamie on this part? Okay, Jamie, proceed.
Sounds good. All right, moving on to the comprehensive maintenance plan. The review of the comprehensive maintenance plan can be found on page 93 of the meeting agenda. The comprehensive maintenance plan, or the CMP, matters because educational facilities require effective maintenance in order to provide an educationally sufficient place for each student in Baltimore City and across the state to learn over an expected lifetime of at least 30 years. Per the MOU, City Schools is required to annually submit to the IAC a comprehensive maintenance plan, and the IAC must incorporate City Schools' attainment of maintenance metrics as a factor in the approval of the future 10-year plan and CIP projects. City Schools FY 2020 CMP shows that City Schools has continued to become more and more effective and efficient in 2019. For example, the CMP reports that City Schools completed 25% more work orders and completed them faster than in FY 2018. In addition, City Schools added additional staff in order to perform preventive maintenance and has been able to achieve an improvement in state maintenance assessment scores for the sample of facilities assessed in fiscal 2018 and 19, which is an accomplishment that no other LEA in the state can claim. In recent years, it is called, the MOU has called for, with support of programs, City Schools has worked to implement a CMMS, or a computerized maintenance management system intended to manage and track scheduled and unscheduled maintenance work. To fully meet the MOU requirements, City Schools must implement its CMMS to auto-generate preventive maintenance work orders. Once operational, this critical function will help City Schools maximize the life of not just 21st century school buildings, but also all City School facilities. City Schools expect a complete implementation of this critical function for the 14 occupied 21st century school buildings by December 2020, and expects to have the function in place for each new building when it opens. With this function in place, and with another additional $3 million applied to the operations budget, City Schools does seem poised to continue to improve on maintenance effectiveness in the upcoming fiscal year. With that said, I will stand for questions on the CMP as well as the annual report in general, and then I can read the motion if desired.
Questions for Jamie on any of these items? Hearing none, Jamie, would you read the motion?
I sure would. The motion is to approve the annual report dated January 2020 by the parties in compliance with the memorandum of understanding for the construction and revitalization of Baltimore City Public Schools to the Governor, the Board of Public Works, and the fiscal committees of the General Assembly on the progress of replacements, renovations, and maintenance of Baltimore City Public Schools.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Case Meyer.
Do we have a second?
Yes, Denise
Linda
Savera.
Everhart.
We have a name on that
Bob, would you
second.
call the roll?
I didn't get the name on the second. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, who made the second?
Lombardo.
Denise Savera. And Lombardo.
Okay, sounds like Dick. Thank you. Yes, Madam Chair. Denise Vera,
Yes.
Secretary Churchill,
Yes.
Linda Eberhardt,
Yes.
Brian Gibbons,
Yes.
Senator Lala,
Yes.
Secretary McCord,
Yes.
Senator Casemeyer,
Yes.
Dick Lombardo.
Yes.
Madam Chair, unanimous?
Yes, I also vote yes, and so now we have unanimous approval of the Baltimore City Schools annual report. And I will now thank everyone for their attention to the meeting today and ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Churchill.
Do we have a second?
So you have a first
All right.
from Secretary Churchill, second by Brian Gibbons.
All right, would you please read the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Denise Vera,
Yes.
Secretary Churchill,
Yes.
Linda Eberhardt,
Yes.
Brian Gibbons,
Yes.
Senator Lala,
Yes.
Secretary McCord,
Yes.
Senator Casemeyer,
Yes.
Dick Lombardo.
Yes.
Madam Chair, it's unanimous. Up to you. Your vote.
Yes, I also vote yes, and I ask everyone to stay safe and be well. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The meeting is adjourned.
Bye.